All right, let's dive into something that's going to completely change how we buy stuff online. I want you to picture this, a world where your AI assistant doesn't just fetch info for you, but actually buys things on your behalf. Sounds wild, right? Well, that future's a lot closer than you might think.
And look, I know this sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's actually starting to happen. We're talking about major players like Stripe and OpenAI building tools that let you buy stuff right inside a chat window. Yep, no more clicking through checkout pages or filling out endless forms. This is really our first real peek into a totally new way of doing commerce.
And if you look at how this works, in these 4 simple steps, the really mind-blowing part isn't just that it's easier. No, the big deal is what's happening behind the curtain. For the very first time, you, the human, aren't the one clicking the buy button. Your AI agent is. It's becoming your personal shopper, your negotiator, your financial go-between.
And this whole new way of doing things, it actually has a name. It's called Agentic Payments. Basically, this is where e-commerce stops being about you scrolling through websites and starts being about you just having a conversation. The whole payment part, it just gets handled for you automatically in the background. Pretty cool, huh?
Okay, so as this new economy, this world of machines talking to other machines really starts to take off, we run into a huge problem, a massive one actually. Think about it. Our current payment systems, Visa, PayPal, all the stuff we use every day, they were all built for us, for humans. They just weren't designed for this kind of thing at all.
So to really get why, just look at this comparison. The way we humans pay for things, it's usually not that often, and it's for, a decent chunk of money. But machine payments, they're the complete opposite. We're talking incredibly high frequency, maybe millions of payments every single second, but for teeny tiny amounts of money. Plus, they're way more complicated, often based on specific conditions being met. It's like we're talking about 2 totally different financial universes.
And this model here, the 3v3C model, it really nails what makes machine payments so different. You've got high velocity and high volume, but really low value. Then on the other side, they have to be conditional, composable, which is a fancy way of saying they can be stacked together. Like one agent pays for a piece of data, and another immediately pays to analyze it, and they have to be cosmopolitan, which just means global, right from the get-go.
So, if our old payment systems are a no-go, then what's the alternative? How is this all actually going to work? Well, it looks like there are 3 main ways this is starting to shape up.
So you've got payments going from a human to an agent. Then you have agents paying other agents. And finally, you have agents paying the web directly. Let's break each of those down.
All right, first up, you paying your agent. Think of it like this. Your AI is now your ultimate personal shopper. It can watch prices on a product you want and snag it the second it goes on sale. Or maybe it's your travel agent, booking your flights, hotel, and rental car all in one go, in one single smart transaction. I mean, that's automation on a whole different level.
Okay, now for agent-to-agent payments. And this is where the scale just gets, kind of mind-bending. An AI might need to pay another AI an absolutely tiny amount. We're talking a fraction of a penny, like what you see here, just for one little piece of data or to run a super quick calculation.
And this really gets the heart of the problem. Your typical credit card fee is something like 2.9% plus 30 cents. Well, that 30-cent fee makes a payment of 0.01 cents completely impossible, right? The fee is literally thousands of times bigger than the payment itself. This is exactly where that low-value, high-volume thing just completely shatters our current system, and it's why we start to need totally new payment rails, like stablecoins, for this to even be possible.
This leads us to the third big behavior. And honestly, this one could change everything. Agents paying the web. Right now, the internet is built for human eyeballs. It makes money from ads and subscriptions. So what happens when the majority of traffic isn't from people anymore, but from AI agents?
Well, one potential answer is something called a pay-per-crawl model. So instead of an agent hitting a paywall that says, subscribe now, it could just automatically pay a fraction of a cent to read that article or pull data from that database. In a way, the entire web could turn into one massive pay-as-you-go API built for machines.
And this just opens up a whole universe of new business models. Just imagine only paying for exactly what you use. Like, you could pay a couple bucks for one legal document, 50 cents for one episode of a show, a quarter for one specific financial chart. This whole pay-per-use idea gets rid of the annoyance of subscriptions and can make the internet way more efficient for all of us.
Now, this vision of a super smooth, automated economy is really, really powerful. But let's pump the brakes a little. We are definitely not there yet. There are some major hurdles.
both technical and legal, that we have to clear before any of this becomes reality.
So let's take a look at the good and the bad. On one hand, the promise is massive. Super efficient markets, easy global micropayments. It's huge. But on the other hand, you've got the reality of tangling with complex financial laws, the fact that AIs aren't really independent thinkers yet, and, oh yeah, we have to build all the plumbing for this from scratch.
Let's dig into those roadblocks a bit more. First, you've got regulation. Moving money is one of the most locked down things on the internet, so change happens slowly. Second, agent maturity. Let's be honest, most agents today are really just fancy automated workflows, not true autonomous decision makers. And third, infrastructure. The core tech, blockchains, wallets, you name it, it all needs a major overhaul to work for machines.
And a huge piece of this puzzle is totally rethinking what security even means. The answer isn't giving your AI a password to remember. No way. The solution is something called a programmable wallet. It's a wallet that follows a strict set of rules you give it, like spending caps, a list of approved sellers, how often it can make a purchase. Basically, the security becomes automated, right along with the payments.
All right, let's wrap this up by looking at the big picture and what this all means for the future of how we do business online.
I mean, look at this timeline. It took decades for the web to go from simple pages to apps to the giant platforms we have today. But this new agent technology, it's squishing that whole cycle down. The shift to a web of agents is happening way, way faster.
And believe it or not, the groundwork for this is already being laid. We're seeing new technical standards pop up that are basically the plumbing for this new economy. You can think of something like ERC 8004 as a digital passport for an AI so it can prove who it is. And X402 is like a universal system for machines to pay for things one tiny sip at a time. These standards create a common language so agents can trust and pay each other without some big company in the middle. And this quote from Lincoln Murr at Coinbase just nails it. We humans, we're kind of stuck in our ways when it comes to payments. But AI agents, they don't have any loyalty to Visa or PayPal. They're just going to use whatever's fastest and cheapest. And in doing that, they could end up quietly upgrading the entire financial backbone of the internet without most of us even noticing. So I want to leave you with this final thought. We're moving away from a world where we have to actively go shopping or make a payment. Instead, we're moving towards a world where commerce just happens all the time, quietly, automatically, in the background of everything we do online. And the big question we're left with is, what exactly is that world going to look like?